What's up, everybody? It's LG Doucette here. Today's show is going to be a little bit different, mainly because it's not much of a show today, and it's our last one for just a couple weeks. We're going to take a bit of time at the First Mint this month to retool how we do things internally and externally. And honestly, out of all the content we make, all the fun we have, the first thing that I want to change is this podcast. It needs, honestly, a bit of a refresh. So I'm going to take a break. And today's show is just going to be a quick little word from me to tell you about some of the thinking behind those changes and I guess give you a little bit of a hint of what to expect, or at least, what I'm going into this break thinking about. I've said it many times before. The First Mint is honestly like a super surreal feeling for me. Despite all the long nights, the odd Twitter exchanges sometimes, and broken promises from some of our favorite projects, the fact that the First Mint is even a thing that exists and that I get to do what I do with the people I get to do it with is honestly astounding. I'm super proud of our team, our day ones, our community, our partners, and hell, I'm even proud of myself, honestly. I've shot my shot a few times in life, and this is the only time that it's actually worked. The First Mint is the only one of the things that I've tried to do like that has actually kind of panned out. Last winter, so at the start of this year, 2022, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the First Mint on January 6th, and that came at a really pivotal time for NFTs, right? OpenSea that month in January was on its way to its record-breaking and still standing month that did over $5 billion in volume, 43% more than any other month it's ever done. And our community in the Dapper Top Shot space was buzzing. All Day had just launched. Rakeback had just dropped on NBA Top Shot. We were yelling ballers all over the place. And at the First Mint, we were in the process of securing some new partners and ensuring that we would keep the lights on through most of the year. We're an unfunded startup. We don't have any funding. We've never even asked for it. And we kind of want to stay that way for a little bit. So our new partners that we signed at the start of this year helped ensure that we'd be able to keep that and to stay, I guess, independent, if you want to call it. We even hosted Basketball and Blockchain Week during the NBA All-Star Game, and I got to take a vacation. The start of this year was awesome. When I got back and through the summer, things started changing. There's no football on. Top Shot underwhelmed during the playoffs. And of course, in the spring, the NFT market completely crashed. And so did the broader market of literally any other kind. All markets are down hard. It wasn't great. Lucky for us, we had and still have really great partners and a great community, you guys. And I took that downturn as an opportunity to zoom out and think about the bigger picture in crypto. So we had a lot of different people on. I took some time to write and speak about the history of crypto winter. We asked if NFTs were really about making money. Maybe they still are. We looked at flow and speculated on when that sweet airdrop would happen. Note, it has not happened yet. We brought on some awesome experts. We had Scott Melker, a former pro trader and DJ who is now looked up to by many people for, I guess, casual trading advice or charts. We had Tasha from Tasha Labs, a PhD in macroeconomics. We had Mac Flavel, one of the co-founders of Dapper Labs, and definitely one of the more interesting guests we've ever had on the show. And a parade of other awesome, great people with great things to say about our industry. It was an exciting change, and it made me feel really proud that the First Mint was able to pivot like that and provide a different type of value with our content. The experts came on the show and quite frankly told us that in the short term we were pretty fucked, but in the long term that we should hang on, that crypto was worth it, that NFTs were worth it, that eventually this would all net out to something awesome. Hang on. But now that time's over. That pivot is done. At our core, the First Mint is a sports community. We love the athletes, the connections, the stories, and of course, the experience of all this. And that's also what we love about NFTs. There's so many parallels between what make NFTs great and what makes sports great that I think we have a real opportunity to realign and center our focus on that intersection. We already have, and we're going to continue doing that in a somewhat retooled way very soon. It's really clear that that's what our community expects from us. And as much as the feedback on some of these big picture pods has been really positive, I've definitely noticed that some of our diehards have engaged way less. Fewer people were listening. And quite honestly, I noticed myself a little less driven to produce them. And again, that's not because there's anything wrong with the guests. Our guests were incredible. They were awesome. But it just wasn't us. So what we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks is doing a bit of soul searching and going back to our roots, to what we promised our day ones, that the first mint was going to be all about community-driven experiences, that we're here to be part of and help surface what makes the digital collectible sports community honestly the best place to hang out on the internet. I love it here. The first mint, just like the sports world, is going to survive this bear market, and it's going to continue on. It'll be there just like sports year-round, always ready for some new story, some new drama, or just a new moment to drop. It's who we are, and it's what we owe to you guys, our community, who brought us this far and are going to keep us going way beyond this. So what does that actually mean for what's next at the First Mint? Well, the content isn't stopping, just the podcast. Twitter is still going to post the latest about all the sports project, and that is actually where we might expand a little bit. Zoom out. Again, I know I said we wouldn't do that, but we're going to zoom out, but on sports. So as much as we've been talking about All Day and Top Shot and Candy and Strike and Flow and all that kind of stuff, you'll start to see a few more tweets about So Rare, DraftKings, FIFA, and other cool projects coming down the pipe. The newsletter written by Ghosted Greg Oden is going to keep hitting your inbox twice a week, Basketball and Blockchain, for all the latest NBA news and Top Shot gossip. Phil and I are going to keep hosting Twitter Spaces throughout the week, and we might even do one on Sunday nights instead of Sunday mornings, titled This Week in NFTs. We're probably mainly going to talk about NFL all day, but definitely going to touch on a few other exciting sports. And this show is going to return on October 17th with a fresh approach, new stories, and the love of sports we all started with. And maybe, just maybe, a new partner or two. Beyond that, of course, there's going to be a lot more. And we'll share that when it's time, because I don't like to say that things are going to happen later and then they're not happening. I kind of just want to tell you when it's happening. So this is one of the only times I'll ever do that, where I'm going to say, hey, we're working on stuff in the future, stay tuned. I don't want to overpromise, but what I can tell you is that for our loyal listeners, our loyal community members, you'll miss the podcast 1 week. 1 week only, you won't have a show. If you don't count this today, this isn't really a show. But next week, there's no show. There's nothing on October 9th. It's also Canadian Thanksgiving. October 10th, I guess. We'll be back the week of the 17th. And I'm really excited for what we're making, and I hope you're going to like it too. So we will talk to you then on the First Mint.